Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Lending Report for week ending August 23, 2024. Thanks for joining me. Hope you're having a great week and that you have some fun plans ahead of you for the weekend. But let's get into it. Mortgage applications showed purchases were down 5%, refinances down 15%. A little surprising, but I expect that activity to tick up over the next several months as we see interest rates start to come down. They have been trending well for us, so this is a good sign for those of you interested in purchasing and refinancing. Initial jobless claims, those filing for unemployment for the first time, up 4,000 and continuing up 4,000 as well. No big news there. It's just trending up at this point. We'll see if that continues as we see unemployment continue to go up a little bit month over month. Now, this week, some of the biggest news was the BLS benchmark revisions report regarding job creations over the past year. Did show that job creations were overstated by 818,000. A very large number. However, there was a very kind of tepid response in the market, in my opinion, to this. I think everybody just kind of knew the BLS report was out of whack, so everybody saw it coming and just accepted it for what it was. But that number does play into the Fed conversations that we're hearing and the fact that they met in Jackson Hole and what their intentions are with short-term interest rates at this time. But first, let's get into existing home sales. I have a slide for you here. I'll show you that for the month of July, existing home sales up 1.3%. Sorry, got a little tongue-tied there. The median home price at $422,600 nationally. Remember, that does not reflect the Denver market. The Denver market is closer to $600,000 for median home value. But inventory, again, showing some positive movement there. Not ton, but not a ton of movement, but still any positive movement is good for inventory based on the demand that we experience, especially here in Denver. If you do look, days on market, 24 days for listings. I still think it's pretty quick turnaround time if the home is priced right. And then you can see that the homes are selling over list, about 24%, down a little bit, down from 29%. And certainly better than last year, that was at 35%. But again, if it's a good house at a good price point, they are selling over list still. So you got to be prepared for that if you're limited on cash and if you don't have the means to offer over list. As rates come down, that could be detrimental to some home buyers. Hopefully we won't see the chaos of 2020, 2022, that type of thing. But you can also see first-time home buyers unchanged at 29% of those purchasing right now, cash buyers at 27%, and investors now at 13%, so ticking down a little bit there as well. Now, what's important this week was the Fed met at Jackson Hole. And if you look at the comparison between August of 2023 through 2024, you can see how vastly improved things are and what should be driving the Fed at this point to actually commit to doing short-term interest rate reductions at this point. And as a result, as you can see from these numbers, unemployment is up, but inflation numbers are down. That's what they wanted to see with inflation. But now unemployment kind of becomes the driver for where they move with short-term interest rates. And they did commit this week to the fact that they will do a rate reduction in September. They just didn't say whether it will be 50 basis points or whether it will be 25 basis points. And I think a lot of that will ride on the jobs numbers that come out next month before they make those announcements. So whatever they see in that, especially with the unemployment number, if that ticks up a little bit, we'll probably see 50 basis points. But if the unemployment number kind of comes back a little bit, then maybe they will only do a quarter. We'll see. But important and nonetheless, very favorable for the fact that we are going to see short-term interest rate cuts now. So that's going to improve your monthly equity payments, any car loans that you get, student loan payments that are in variable interest rates, and then also your credit card payments. So good news for consumers at this point. Next week, we do get GDP, the second reading for second quarter. So it'll be interesting to see what we see there in those numbers. Now let's take a look at the charts. I typically show you the 5.5 UMBS chart. And in that chart, we always want to see it trending up and in the green. But this is the 10-year U.S. Treasury. It's another indicator of how the markets are doing for interest rates. Follows this 10-year Treasury. So whichever you watch, with the 10-year Treasury, you want to see it moving down. So again, seeing very favorable movement in this chart and have been over the course of the last month, but this week has been pretty good to us. Interest rates hanging in tight, moving just a little bit down for us. So if you are interested in purchasing, I do think it's a very good time to do that, because if its rates continue to come down, the economy improves a little bit with with short-term interest rates cuts, we're going to see a lot more activity in that housing market and people wanting to purchase. Now, refinances are another story. A lot of lenders out there already kind of beating down the doors for people, saying, hey, now's the time to refinance. I'm not going to do that to you, because we are not yet at the low. And the last thing I want to do is refinance you now and then come back to you a year later and say, hey, do you want to refinance against? Because refinances cost money too. You can roll your fees into the loan, unlike a purchase transaction, but all you're doing is taking away some of the equity in your home. And I certainly don't want to hit you with those fees twice, because anybody that tells you that refinances are free, they're full of shit. Excuse my French, but that's true. There are always fees. Appraisers charged to do the work. We have to get flood certifications, tax certifications. We got to pull your credit report. There are fees. We got to set up escrows on your account if you're not going to waive escrows. Title's not going to close your loan for free to present that closing package to you. So there are fees all the time, but when people are telling you no fee, all they're doing is rolling it into a higher interest rate for you, so that they can give you a lender credit that offsets those costs. So please be wary of jumping into the refinance market too soon. Rates will continue to come down. I will still always be able to help you, whether it's in 6 months or a year. I would just say exercise a little bit of caution, a little bit of restraint, and be patient. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I do appreciate when you like my videos. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you next week.